You're 22 years old. You've just completed the toughest military training pipeline in the world. After crushing Hell Week, surviving dive phase, and passing land warfare, you've earned your trident. You're a Navy SEAL. Your starting salary is $60,000, but that's not why you're here. You're here because you want to be the best. And now you've heard about a unit that makes regular SEALs look like amateurs. DevGru, Development Group, the unit nobody's supposed to talk about. SEAL Team 6. You spend your first deployment in Afghanistan doing the standard SEAL stuff. Nighttime raids, intelligence gathering, direct action missions. You're good at this, really good. You've completed over 40 combat missions in 6 months. Your team leader notices. After your deployment, he pulls you aside. There's a selection process coming up, he says. You should try out. He doesn't say for what. He doesn't need to. Everyone knows what selection means. You put in your package. 6 months later, you get a phone call. A voice you don't recognize. Be at this location at 0500. Bring nothing. That's it. That's all you get. Selection for DevGru isn't like other military assessments. There's no published standards, no graduation rate statistics. The rumor is that 90% of candidates wash out. SEALs who've spent years in the teams show up and don't make it past day 3. Selection is a blur of pain. You're running with 50-pound rucksacks through the mountains. You're doing maritime operations in freezing water for hours. You're shooting complex courses of fire until your trigger finger goes numb. The instructors, who've done things you'll never hear about in countries that officially never happened, watch you constantly. They're not looking for the strongest or the fastest. They're looking for something else. Adaptability, mental resilience, the ability to operate at an elite level when you haven't slept in 48 hours and everything hurts. You make it. Out of 30 candidates, only 3 pass. You're one of them. Welcome to SEAL Team 6. Your salary bumps up. With hazard pay, dive pay, and special duty assignment pay, you're now making around $100,000 a year. Still not much compared to what you could make in the private sector with your skills. But this isn't about the money. This is about being part of something that most people don't even know exists. Your first year is training, not the kind of training regular military does. You're shooting 2,000 rounds a day. The ammunition budget for DevGru is in the tens of millions annually. You're learning close-quarter battle techniques, so refined that every movement is choreographed like a deadly ballet. You're doing free-fall parachuting from altitudes that would make civilian skydivers nervous. You're learning to drive like a stunt professional, navigate like a sea captain, and breach buildings using explosive charges measured down to the gram. Your instructors are teaching you things that took them a decade to learn. One of them is a 40-year-old senior chief who's been with the unit for 15 years. He's done missions in over 30 countries. Most of them aren't on any official record. He shows you how to clear a room in 3.2 seconds, how to make a precision shot at 800 meters in crosswinds, how to infiltrate from a submarine in complete darkness. This unit costs the DoD over $100 million a year to maintain, he tells you. That's salary, training, equipment, everything. They don't spend that money on amateurs. Your first real mission comes 8 months into your time with the unit. It's a high-value target in Yemen, an al-Qaeda facilitator who's been planning attacks against Americans. Intelligence has pinpointed his location to a compound in the mountains. You're part of a 16-man assault element. You load onto 2 MH-47 Chinooks, modified with special operations equipment worth millions. The flight in is low and fast. You're wearing night vision goggles that cost more than most people's cars. The mission goes perfectly. You fast rope onto the compound roof. Your team moves through the building like water flowing downhill. Every corner, every doorway, every hallway is cleared with precision that looks effortless but took thousands of hours of practice. You secure the target without firing a shot. The whole operation from boots on ground to wheels up is 14 minutes. The intelligence gathered from that compound leads to 3 more operations over the next 6 months. This becomes your life. You're deploying every 4 months. Some rotations you're in Afghanistan, working with CIA ground branch targeting Taliban commanders. Other times you're in Iraq, hunting down ISIS cells. You participate in over 60 combat missions in your first 2 years. The pace is relentless, but so is the success rate. DevGru's mission completion rate is classified, but it's estimated to be above 95%. You're 26 now. You've been with the unit for 4 years. You've made senior petty officer. Your salary with all the special pays is approaching $120,000. You've saved most of it because you're never home long enough to spend it. Then comes the mission briefing that changes everything. The entire squadron is called in. That never happens unless something big is going down. The briefing room fills with America's most elite warriors. These men have collectively participated in thousands of combat operations. The commanding officer, a Navy captain who spent 20 years in special operations before taking command of DevGru, stands at the front. Gentlemen, he says, we've found him. He doesn't need to say who. Everyone knows. For the past decade, the entire U.S. intelligence apparatus has been searching for one man, Osama bin Laden. The intelligence came together slowly. CIA analysts had been tracking one of bin Laden's couriers for years. They followed him to a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The compound is strange, 3 stories tall with 12-foot walls, minimal windows, no phone or internet connection. It's valued at approximately $1 million, but the people living there have no visible means of income. They burn their trash instead of putting it out for collection. The CIA builds a replica of the compound at a cost of several $1 million at a classified training facility. You train for weeks. Your assault team runs through the mock compound over and over. Every possible scenario is rehearsed. What if the doors are reinforced steel? What if there are armed guards? What if the Pakistani military responds? The planning is exhaustive. This mission cannot fail. The political stakes are enormous. The intelligence investment over the past 10 years has been in the billions. You're selected for the assault element. 23 SEALs will fly into Pakistan, hit the compound, and either capture or kill the world's most wanted terrorist. The mission is called Operation Neptune Spear. You'll be flying on specially modified Black Hawks that cost an estimated $60 million each to develop. They're quieter and stealthier than standard helicopters. The pilots flying them have thousands of hours of experience in special operations. May 1st, 2011. You load onto the helicopter at Jalalabad Airfield in Afghanistan. You're carrying an HK-416 rifle customized to your exact specifications, advanced night vision equipment, and enough ammunition for a sustained firefight. Your gear load is worth approximately $50,000. Every man on this mission has trained for thousands of hours. The total investment in training, equipment, and preparation for this single operation is estimated at over $10 million. The flight into Pakistan is 2 hours of anxiety. You're violating the airspace of a nuclear-armed nation without their permission. If the Pakistani Air Force scrambles jets, this could turn into an international incident. But the modified helicopters work. You're invisible to their radar. As you approach the compound, one of the Black Hawks experiences problems with the high altitude and heat. The pilot is forced to do a hard landing inside the compound walls. The helicopter is damaged, but everyone is okay. This is exactly the kind of scenario you trained for. You fast rope into the compound. Your team moves immediately to the main building. The first 2 floors are cleared quickly. You encounter one of bin Laden's sons on the 2nd floor. The situation escalates. By the time you reach the 3rd floor, you know the target is close. Your point man, a SEAL who's completed over 100 combat missions in his career, moves up the stairs. There he is, Osama bin Laden, the man responsible for the deaths of nearly 3,000 Americans on September 11th. The man who's evaded capture for almost a decade. The engagement is brief. Bin Laden is killed. You secure his body and begin the sensitive site exploitation. Your team photographs everything, bags evidence, collects hard drives and documents. This intelligence will lead to dozens of follow-on operations. The entire raid from touchdown to wheels up takes 38 minutes. You load onto the remaining helicopters. The damaged Black Hawk is destroyed with explosives to protect its classified technology, an asset worth tens of millions. The flight back to Afghanistan feels surreal. You've just completed the most significant special operations mission in modern history. When you land at Jalalabad, you're met by the commanding general. Within hours, the President of the United States is on television, announcing bin Laden's death. The world changes overnight, but your work isn't done. The intelligence gathered from that compound is massive. You're immediately deployed on follow-up missions targeting Al-Qaeda's remaining leadership. You're 29 now. You've completed over 150 combat missions. You've been shot at, blown up, and pushed to every physical and mental limit possible. Some of your teammates have been killed in action. You attended the funerals. You stood with their families. You saw the cost of this life. The divorce rate in DevGru is estimated at over 90%. Relationships can't survive the deployments, the secrecy, the constant absence. You haven't had a serious relationship in 6 years. The unit offers you a position as an instructor. Train the next generation. Your operational days would be over, but you'd still be part of the unit. The salary for senior instructors with your experience and clearance level can approach $150,000 with all the special pays, or you could leave. Private military contractors are hiring former DevGru operators at starting salaries of $200,000 per year. Your skills in close protection, training foreign militaries, or intelligence work are worth a fortune in the private sector. But there's another option. The CIA approaches you. They want operators with your experience for their Special Activities Center. The work is similar, but even more classified. Some missions never see official records. Some operations happen in countries where the US officially has no military presence. The salary is higher, the deployments are different, but the risks remain the same. You'd be giving up the Navy career you've built, but you'd still be in the fight. You think about that 22-year-old kid who earned his trident. You think about the path that brought you here, the training that cost millions, the missions that saved lives, the brothers you served with. Some are still in the teams, some left for civilian careers, some never made it home. You think about the bin Laden raid and the 37 other missions nobody will ever hear about. The terrorists captured, the Americans saved, the threats eliminated. You realize something. This life has cost you almost everything normal people have. Stable relationships, regular sleep, the ability to talk about your work at dinner parties. You've missed birthdays, holidays, and years of normal life. You've seen things that will never leave your mind. You've done things that will remain classified for decades. But you've also been part of the most elite fighting force in the world. You've operated at a level that only a few hundred people in history have achieved. The choice is yours. You can stay and train the next generation, passing on everything you've learned. You can leave for the private sector and finally make the money your skills deserve. You can join the CIA and disappear even deeper into the shadows. Or you can walk away completely, try to build some kind of normal life, though you know you'll never be normal again. Whatever you choose, you're no longer that 22-year-old who earned his trident. You're something else now. Something forged by a decade of operations in the shadows. You're SEAL Team 6, and that's something you'll carry forever, whether you stay or go.